We're experimenting with live casting the sermon during our time together, or the reflection for the day. So I will give a portion of my attention to the device here, and hope that these words will guide us in our conversations and activities today. And you can hear the tiny humans in the background too. So it's my first Sunday back, and I'm so excited and grateful to be here with you once again. I missed you guys. I missed gathering together to do something meaningful. I missed the way each of you show me who God is through your words and through your actions. I missed the regularity of coming together each week and the way that battles my apathy and my empathy fatigue. I would see your faces and be reminded of goodness in the world. Instead of starting the week off with headlines that beckon me towards despair, we start each week together being beckoned towards hope and goodness that we build together. Because of you, because of Missing Peace, we get to start the week off, and it is good. It is good, an ancient call from one of the most famous creation stories, a story that my bones seem to know better than my mind does. One that tells me that creation happened into darkness and void and nothingness. So not to be scared of that. And that day and night, dark and light, are all part of a cycle, and it's good. And that I was created on purpose. And then that creator, the maker behind all of this, rested. And all of it, that repeated refrain over and over, was good. Y'all, even the worst thing that you can possibly conjure in your mind, even the biggest fear, there is still good in it. There's still possibility. Now, I'm not suggesting that it's a helpful thing to say in the midst of the darkest night. Sometimes we just need to be there, especially if it's not your darkest night, someone else's. Don't go invading their dark with your bright flashlight and blind them in the process. That's not helpful. But hold on to your spark, your hope, that in the midst of the chaotic void is where the creation happens, and it's good. So be not afraid. In fact, the Bible has that particular imperative 365 times, one for each day. Of all of the commands, all the do's and don'ts, and those that are subscribed to the Bible and don't even exist there, of them all, do not be afraid is the most frequent. I don't think this means to squash your fear or attempt to overpower it. That just makes it come back meaner and angrier. I think instead it's a reminder of a thing you already know, that your eternal spirit, your light, your God part, your divine heritage already knows that there is still always a bit of light in every darkness, because darkness is fertile ground. The darkness will never be overcome. It merely incubates. It doesn't win in the end because your light cannot be extinguished. And when that fear does come up, when it starts to creep in along the edges, we don't dismiss it. But we don't let it lead. We don't let it drive or pick the music. Fear can be a part of your story, but don't be fear. Your identity is something much brighter and older and infinitely better than that. One of the things that's most compelling about the gospel story is that it's a story of all of this. It's the original Cinderella story. The unlikely underdog hero overcomes the odds up to and including overcoming death. I'm not real interested in whether you believe in some kind of reanimation or ancient resuscitation. That's not even the good part. The good part is, even in the face of fear and death, grace and love have the last word. These stories witness and share about tragedy and joy and miracles, and remind us over and over that it is, in fact, good. And be not afraid, even as we look at the prospect of death. In fact, doing so may be just the reminder we need to be who we're supposed to be. Over the next 6 weeks, we'll be looking at that. We'll look back at our brief history and see who it has formed us into thus far. And then what it says about us going forward. These exercises will help us to dive into both our personal history, formation, and future, and then those same things for missing piece. Because we are missing piece. It's all deeply interconnected. Our strengths, our gifts, our needs and fears, and even considering death and rebirth. It is my deep hope that all of us will commit to the next 6 weeks as best as you possibly can, so that all of us might be part of this invaluable look back and a future that's impossible without each of you. So what are you afraid of? What are we afraid of? Let's bring it out into the light with the assurance that it won't overtake us and won't indicate our future, and instead will remove its hold on who we are going forward. Grace and peace.